Hello everybody and welcome back to my survival series. When we last left things off, we had transformed this village and changed a couple of the houses. And I think they turned out pretty good. Now, there's a few that I want to do some adjustments and actually tear down and completely redo. So if we run over there really quick, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the first thing that I want to fix is actually the roof of this house. As you can see, it's at an angle. There's two parts to it. And what I want to fix is the angle right here. Instead of having the angle match the further back part right there, I want it to match this. So it goes straight across, kind of like how this one looks here. Just imagine that right here. The second thing that I want to work on with this village is this tiny little house. I forgot I had that here. I mentioned in the last video that I wasn't particularly happy with how this house turned out, and I'm still not particularly happy with how this thing turned out. So we are going to tear this thing down and completely redo it. And just like that, as you can see, our roof is looking a lot better on this building. I'm a lot happier with how this turned out. The only problem now is we need to deal with, well, this. And I'm not even going to refer to this as a house because, I mean, look at this thing. It barely qualifies as a house. So we're going to tear this thing down, which shouldn't take too long, and we're going to build something up in its stead. Hopefully, that looks a lot better. And with that being said, I think you all know what's about to happen. We're going to jump straight into a time lapse. And just like that, we have a much better looking house here than that little hut, shack, whatever you want to call it. Now, it doesn't have a very big interior, but that's okay because I'm not doing any interiors. We're just going to drop villagers in there. But I think this is definitely looking a lot better than what was here. But now we get to the fun part of today's episode. Moving villagers, everyone's favorite Minecraft activity. So I've got a couple trapped in some of the places that you saw in the last episode. We've got one in a little square container over there. We've got another guy over there that hasn't been given a job yet. So I think we'll use those two to create a villager breeder, and we'll be able to fill the rest of these houses and any future ones with some villagers. Now, I was thinking of putting the villager breeder actually kind of in this mountainside, and if you want to think of it another way, in the basement of this building, because villager breeders aren't exactly the, how do I put this, most attractive looking buildings and farms in Minecraft. So we're going to tuck this one away in its own little place where it won't be visible. So I'm thinking in this hill would be a perfect spot, and I don't think the villager in there will affect anything about it. I don't really know villager mechanics, but I think it'll be okay. So I'm going to dig out this hole really quick. And just like that, I have the hole completely dug out. So if we hop inside, I've gone for the standard 9x9 with a few beds on the other side. And I do have a water system going over to some soul sand, and that will take them all the way up, if we run outside really quick, to a little glass jar I have set up. Now, the reason it's like this is because I don't know exactly where to put them, so I decided a little jar will be good enough for now, and if they end up breeding too much and too many villagers right here, it will be simple enough just to clear them out, shall we say, so that way our game doesn't lag too much. So, with that being said, I now need to do the fun task of bringing two villagers in here and praying that I built this correctly, because if I didn't, I am going to be very upset. So, let's begin. Alright, so we got villager 1 set up. We got an activator, so that way he can plummet down to a hole, land on the farm, and hopefully not damage any crops, but I don't think I'm that lucky. We got a furnace minecart, so just got to give this guy a little push, place that behind him, and send it on its way, and hope he makes it in okay. And if we watch him from down here, he's going along just fine. And he's not gonna make it. Come on. Come on. Is he gonna make it now? Oh. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Buddy, 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 buddy. Get back. Get back here. That is not good. No, where are you going? No. No. That is not a job. No. No. Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna put this guy back where he belongs. Here we go again. Take 2. I have him trapped, and I've got a new railway set up. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it works better this time. If I break this, I don't think he should leave because of the rail. So just got to pick him up. This is already off to a great start, isn't it? Come on. There you go. Get in the minecart. Good job, buddy. And he should be on his way. And if we follow him, is everything going to be okay this time? Did he make it? Why? Oh. Darn it. You went right through the block, didn't you? Great. Oh, at least he's closer. Well, after moving villagers for far too long, I finally have both of these guys in here, and they did start producing a kid. Now, he's kind of stuck right now, which I'm not too thrilled about. I think I'm going to have to go gather some ice and put it under there, so that way he kind of just slides along. But, as you can see, the farm is indeed working. So, I'm really happy about that. I have a couple holes that I need to fill, but the farm's working. I thought I lost you for a second. So I'm really happy about that, which means we can now begin work on transporting these villagers into their own houses that we made for them. We do have a bit of a mess that we need to clean up, but I'll take care of that soon. For now, we just need to focus on getting those villagers up the bubble tube, so that way we can move them into their new houses. And I wanted to show you guys how I plan on getting them to their houses and out of this little jar that they're trapped in right now. And as you can see, there are a few in there, so the villager farm is working. It's more than just a one-time thing, so that's really nice. What I've got planned is I'm just going to put a minecart here. I've got a track set up, and I've got the rest all cleaned up, so we don't have to worry about looking at those anymore. And I'm just going to put a minecart here. Hope it picks up one of these guys. And right now it's just going to that house. There we go. You got one. I just need to send him on his way now. So, is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. So he should go all the way into the house. Just like that. Lovely. And he should stay in here. I'm just going to leave him in the minecart for now until he grows up. And now I'm going to turn my attention to these guys and get them moved into their own houses. So, we're going to do that really quick. And just like that, they're in their houses. This guy's in his. The other guy's in his house over here. If we go over and take a look. Now, they are all in their minecarts just because I don't want them running around. I want them to stay put where they are. And I'm not too worried about zombies because I'm fairly good at sleeping the nights away. That's kind of why you don't see any like creepers or endermen around. Now, these guys are very important because, as you know, they're villagers. They have jobs and they sell very good wares to the kind people, mostly me. But did you know that these villagers, they can actually communicate with people outside, further in the world, other villagers. And these guys have done just that. They've been able to communicate with villagers far and wide, letting them know that, hey, I've got all this good stuff that I can now trade with you. So the villagers from far and wide are now coming here to actually trade with these guys. And unfortunately, the only way they can get here is by boat. So what we need to do is actually build up a nice port for their ships to park in. And I've done a little bit of scouting around for it. And the best place that I've been able to come up with for building a, for lack of a better term, a ship port, I think that's the right term, is actually on this gravel beach. So I might actually remove this right here just because it's a bit in the way. But from what I've done in my scouting, this seems to be the best area to build a port for these ships. So that is what we're going to get focused on next. And I think that this is actually going to turn out really good. I hope it's just as good as it is in my mind. But there's only one way to find out. We got to get building. So something I want to do with this dock is actually make sure it's wide enough that we can actually fill it with all sorts of details and still have plenty of room to walk around on. Something else I want to do is actually make sure that there are like several, I think they're ports, the parts that go out that the ships dock next to. What I want to do is I want to make several of those so that way this place is more than just like a one ship stop at a time type thing. So we are going to push this out a little bit more that way. I don't think we're going to push it out very much more this way just because this sort of ends right here. But what I want to do is definitely make this a bit longer than what it is right now. And as you can see, I'm kind of just following the shape of the coastline because I think that would actually end up looking pretty good. So I'm going to continue working on this and I'll continue to give progress updates as this goes along. But for right now, I'm just building the main dock and I think so far I think it's actually coming out pretty good. So I've got the main frameworks for the docks built up now, and as you can see, there's 4 different ports. Now, one of the things I want to do to add some details around here is a couple of things actually. One of them being that I want to add some trapdoors around here and there just to give it a little bit more detail, give it a little bit more depth. Another thing I want to focus on is actually putting in some waterlogged stairs and slabs. Because I like to imagine these people, they're getting off their ships, they've got wet boots and whatnot from water splashing up on the ship. And when they get off, they actually trail that water down a little bit. So that is mostly what I'm going to focus on for bringing this dock to life. I'm also thinking about adding a couple barrels around here and there just to see how that looks. I don't know if I'll do that, if I'll keep it, but for now, I think it's a good idea. So what I'm going to focus on right now is actually getting these trapdoors and some of these waterlogged stairs in and seeing how that looks overall because I'm going to do this for the whole thing. I think I'm going to leave just the waterlogged stairs though for like the docks because that's where most of the water is going to come off. So I'm going to do that and I will be right back. And just like that, the dock is complete. Now I do plan on adding some ships out in the water, but I think we'll save that for another episode. For now, let's just focus on the dock. And I think overall that it turned out pretty well. Now it is a little busy to look at, so I might take away a couple of the trapdoors. But we do have all of our docks finished, complete with waterlogged stairs and slabs, just to give a bit more detail to this place. Because as nice as like a flat, just plain wooden dock looks, I think this looks a lot better. Now I might go around and remove a couple of the trap doors just so that way it's not as busy. It's not as hard on the eyes. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And I did go around and add some barrels at each of the stairs. What they're used for, I don't know. Maybe some guy standing here, you know, he sees the guy getting on the dock after traveling on the sea for who knows how long. It's like, hey, buddy, you look really tired. I got some fruit. I got some water here. You can have all of it for the low, low price of whatever, you know? So, or maybe it's just a place where some of the people can like bring some of their goods and store them. Whatever the case may be, I'm pretty happy with how all of this turned out. But unfortunately, it is that time for the episode. And I do apologize that this video took so long to get out. I'm still really busy in real life and I'm working on trying to adjust my new schedule. So all I ask is that you guys please be patient with me as I try to figure this out. It's taken a little bit longer than I would have liked, but you guys shouldn't have to wait on my busy schedule for a video. So I will try harder this week to get a video out for you guys, and I will try to make it just as enjoyable as hopefully all of my others have been. I'm going to try and make it the most enjoyable that I can for you guys. But with that being said, it is time to end today's episode, unfortunately. So, with all that being said, my name is Metallica. This has been Minecraft. Thank you so much for watching. If you did go on to enjoy today's video, please hit that like button, and if you really liked it, please consider subscribing as it means a ton to me. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.